All right, welcome to the end of FGM Live show. This is another good day that we are going live today. Karibu sana. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and together with Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, we shall be interacting with you for the next 30 minutes on video and on live chat on different channels through which we are going live on. This broadcast will help you to understand the current situation of FGM in Isiolo County, and you will get to know best practices adapted by these organizations and activists working in this grassroots area in Kenya. Just straight to the point, remember to leave a comment below this live video as we still go on, and I'll try my best to keep on reading it. Once again, karibu to this live show. Today we have amazing guests from Isiolo County, and we are going to bring them live right away. But before we do so, a small brief about FGM in general, and also a small brief about FGM in this county. So Isiolo County, as many of the people would know, is actually almost at the center of Kenya, if not the center of Kenya itself. It's a county that is metropolitan, with which means that there are many different communities living there. We have the Borana, we have the Somalis, we have the Samburu, we have the Meru people all around that place. And more people immigrating towards that area. And so there are different things that are happening in regards to cultural practices, but the mixture in terms of FGM brings a unique perspective to it. So today we're going to be talking about FGM in Isiolo County, and we have amazing guests who are going to brief us about that. Right away, as we talk about that today, we will have Aisha Hussein Roba, Bilal Muhammad, and Dr. Rukia Atikia. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate having you. It's an amazing day, blessed day to have you guys on board. I'm just going to introduce you to our viewers right away. But before then, I'm still going to just share who is Aisha. She's the director of Every Girl's Dream. And to our viewers, if you want to talk to Aisha, tweet her at Roba Aisha, and Bilal Muhammad at Nura Bilal. And please throw in your chats asking Dr. Rukia questions still on our live chats, and we will read them out. As you can see here, these are amazing human beings. We're just going to see them live as they are in a moment. But before then, still waiting for the statistics. 200 million women and girls have undergone FGM, the ones who are alive today. It's found in 31 countries worldwide, and South Sudan is the latest country to illegalize FGM. In Kenya, the prevalence is 21%. 7 out of 10 girls have been circumcised by a traditional cutter. 8 out of 10 women have been circumcised or cut by a traditional cutter. So there's little that is known in regards to statistics, specifically to Isiolo, and you're going to be talking about that. So we have different issues. We're going to be talking about FGM and religion, county-specific data, how the government is giving support, and other issues that are going to come up during this FGM live broadcast. But before then, before I introduce my guests, because I know you have been waiting for that for a long time now, I'm going to just pop in a couple of people who are joining in. I see different people joining in from different places. Thank you very much for being part of this daily broadcast. I really do appreciate having you here. I see Aruna Varsani, Asenad Mwadiga, many election. I'll just bring them to the screen right away. All right, Aruna Varsani, Kaitwai Ole, Antonia Sophia, thank you very much for keeping on engaging people on the live chat. Just remember that these are our co-producers. Asenad Mwadiga, Ole Simel, keep on commenting, and they will pop up on the chat. So we are just going to go straight in. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So be sure to leave a comment, and it will pop automatically on this screen, and we will be able to have a conversation around that. I see different people also joining in from YouTube. So please leave your comments on the live chat on YouTube, and I'll also be able to read them live. Now, I'm going to bring you our guests today, amazing people from Isiolo County. And I'll just introduce from the left, Daktari. She is Daktari, and she is a registrar, right? At UMA. Dr. Rukia Atikia, registrar admin at UMA University. And we also have Bilal Muhammad, who is a social justice activist and a humanitarian worker. And also Aisha Hussein Roba, who is the director, Every Girl's Dream. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's an honor having you here today. We do not have much time, so we're just going to go straight to the point. Daktari.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to start off with you. FGM in Isiolo. We have had issues. It's a metropolitan county, and we know that many communities exist in that county, different cultures, different religions. What are the major issues in Isiolo County?
Well, thank you. And to our host, I think I'll pick it on right that the issue in Isiolo County surrounding the FGM is partly that of cultural practices, because most of the people who are pastoral community who have family in FGM, and that has significantly influenced the number of kids that are undergoing this FGM. So the statistics that has been highlighted in Isiolo County, 65% of the girls have undergone the cut.
65%.
65% of that, and these are quite an alarming number. And because of these cultural practices, it's really taking roots, and as much as we have efforts in place, it is a matter that is really has to be addressed. Because gradually, because it is taking like everybody must undergo that, because these kids and the family fear that they have fear of rejection. Like if the majority of the partners in this community have undergone this,
Daktari, you're breaking a little. Maybe your audio has a little issue on your side. Maybe try fixing just lifting your phone a little bit.
Yeah, so I think the major problem is that of cultural practices, but a lot of effort is ongoing, both from these institutions, the civil society, as well as those people who are interested in this particular fight for the girl child rights.
All right.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much for that. We got that 65% approximately of the girls in Isiolo have been cut, and as well as people who are also revolving around trying to work towards the ending of that. You mentioned lots of communities as well. Thank you very much for that insight, Daktari. Straight to Bilal. Where are we standing there? We have different issues, different religions, different cultures.
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, I'd like to say I hope everybody is doing okay in terms of COVID-19.
Yeah.
I hope everybody is taking care of themselves, staying safe and sanitizing, and staying at home as much as is possible. Now, concerning FGM, in my view, we have made tremendous progress when we look back at 20, 30 years ago and the situation that we are in right now.
Yeah.
Because we have global organizations, we have multilateral agencies, we have even at country level and regional level, a lot of policies and regulations and even laws trying as much as possible to discourage these practice.
Yeah.
And for example, even in South Sudan, just like you mentioned, they are the latest country to completely illegalize the practice itself. So that in itself tells you that countries and regions and organizations are taking the fight against female genital mutilation very, very seriously.
Yes.
So it's a good thing. We have made progress, and still there is also a lot of work to do and a lot of room for improvement. Because when Daktari has mentioned that in Isiolo, for example, our county, we have 65% of girls undergoing this practice, it's a very alarming statistic, to say the least. And so we must continue encouraging and using a concerted approach to be able to completely eradicate this virus and improve on those numbers, because 65% is from all honesty not a good statistic. So I think we have made progress, but there is a lot of room for improvement.
Thank you very much. Next to Aisha, where are we at? I know you've been part of the of the End FGM campaign for quite some time. Where are we at in regards to FGM in Isiolo County, specifically looking at the involvement of the community?
Thanks, Kipainoi, for having me on board. I really appreciate. I hope everybody is safe during this pandemic time. As just Bilal and Doctor mentioned, from the view of things, the rate of FGM in Isiolo County, and even in the whole country, the rate is now low because people have been sensitized. I believe people are getting more sensitization on FGM. According to different people that we interact during our campaigns and sensitization meetings, people usually do this practice because they didn't have the information on the effect of FGM. Now people have learned, and I believe with more sensitization on the same, it's not something that will probably end overnight. It will take us some time, maybe 10 years or 20 years to come. So I believe with the energy that people have at the moment, before it was a taboo subject, by the way, people didn't even used to talk about it in our community, but I'm glad now everybody is talking about FGM and it's a subject of discussion in the community. Yeah,
thank you very much for that. FGM and religion, before we go for a short break, Daktari, we've had different people talking about FGM and religion, and we've had many religious leaders coming on board to also delink FGM from Islam. Most of the communities that are now living in Isiolo are actually many communities are actually Islam, and I know that's also an issue within that context. Where are we in regards to that religion and FGM?
Thank you, Kipainoi, and I think that is exactly the case. Before some sensitization was done, there was a close link between the cultural practices and the religion perspective, because we are Muslim, and there is a lot of misconceptions and misinterpretation of law with regard to Islam and the advocates for Islam. Unfortunately, that is not the case, because the Quran does not oblige the girls to undergo FGM. And I think some sensitization have been done from that route by different religious leaders, and that is a bit clearer now to the community. And that link is getting a bit thinner, because now people know. Initially, they didn't know. They thought that Islam advocates for had, and now that had clarified by the religious leaders, and now the perception is slowly shifting. The only challenge we have to confront with is that cultural belief.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very brief and on to the point. Thank you very much for that. Religion is being delinked from Islam, and many people initially thought that it is part of the religion, but through sensitization, that has reduced. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bilal, so many people still think, in the grassroots as well, they cannot separate the difference between religion and culture. We've had people say that this is our way of life, but they can't tell if it's religion or if it's part of their culture, their traditional African practice. Have you had any conversations around that, and what's the situation on the ground in that case?
Thank you, Kipainoi. Yes, the main issue here is when you have, this is a cultural practice. That is a fact. That is the number one fact that we should all understand. When we talk about culture, we talk about an ethnic community practicing that one as part of their norms and traditions. And then when these ethnic communities, specifically for Kenya or Isiolo, for instance, when you have Somalis, you have Boranas, you have Gabra, you have maybe Rendile practicing this, and then a majority of these people profess the Islamic faith, it can sometimes appear as though it's the Muslims who are practicing the act.
Yeah.
So it is important to link, like Dr. has said, it's important to categorically say that this is not a religious practice and it is not condoned in Islam and in Islam across the world. So, but then when these people who practice the act of FGM profess the Islamic faith, it can appear as though it is an act that is encouraged by Islam.
Yeah.
So it's important to say clearly that Islam does not condone it, but also it's important to point out the fact that the majority of these people, as for us in Kenya, who are practicing this are also Muslims.
Yeah.
Okay? So when we get those two critical points, we can then argue from a point of information.
Yeah.
So, like Dr. has said, it is now emerging clearly that Islam does not advocate for FGM and does not condone FGM. It is now easier. That is why we have made progress over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
That's why we have made progress in terms of statistics.
Yeah.
And so the moment we delink FGM from Islam and from religion, then we can fight a common enemy, which is the FGM, a cultural practice, and not FGM,
as a
religious practice.
All right. Thank you very much. I got that clearly. To Aisha, we've talked about religion already. Someone from social media is asking, Vincent is asking, what is the situation in Isiolo in regards to FGM during this COVID-19 pandemic? In a very brief sentence, please, where are we at during COVID-19?
Okay, Kipainoi, I can say that during this COVID time, it's the worst time. Yeah. Because now people are taking advantage of the fact that they have longer time at home. Now the kids have longer time at home.
Yeah.
And now you see, before FGM was usually done during longer holidays. That is the December holiday.
Yes.
So now that we are on holiday and we don't know until when, it's the high time now for them to do this. They will have that time to recover. And there's no, much movement. There are no activists on the ground. Now this is a big advantage for these people who know what to cut their kids.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I can say that it's the worst time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I will just go straight to social media, and then when we come back, we will talk about the support we have on the ground. But before we do that, let's have some conversation online. On social media, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'm just going to read some of the comments online. So many people joining in. I see Maroa Tobias says listening. Kennedy Koye, thank you very much for joining in. Joy Liz, thank you very much. Marilyn Saron saying thank you very much for joining in. Aruna Varsani, asante sana. Kaetwai, asante sana. Aruna says I love the music. Thank you very much for that feedback. Asenad Mwadiga also says thank you very much for joining in. Vincent says glad to be enjoying. Aruna Varsani, is it a session right now? Yes, it is. Thank you very much for joining as well. Vincent says I'm tuned in from Korea to hear Aisha from the bench. So you are on the bench, Aisha. Asante sana, Vincent, for also joining in. And he says, what is the situation in Isiolo in regards to FGM during the COVID-19 pandemic? And Aisha, you've answered that already. And Arsenal says it's Sudan and not South Sudan. So it's a correction on the country that actually passed the law against FGM. So thank you also for that point. Joshine Tono, thank you very much for joining in. Yes, so Aruna Varsani, as Aisha had said, so we'll have a high number of cuts at this time. Yes, that's the case, is what Aisha has said. All right, so we'll still keep on reading your comments. Please bring them coming, keep them coming on, and we will stream them as they come in the live chat. On YouTube, I also see different people commenting. On Twitter, I see on Twitter. Okay, they are still coming in. I see Droni Elijah says FGM is indeed a foregone culture, hence need for it to be eliminated from our communities. Together we can build sustainable society by doing away with FGM. Keep them coming. We will stream them as they come in, and we will be super happy for you to pop your questions in at this moment. All right, so we'll just get back to our guests now. We have Dr. Aisha. Dr. Aisha. Oh, sorry, we are praying for you, Aisha, that you're going to be a doctor very soon. On my top left, we have Daktari, who is Dr. Rukia Atikia, who is registrar admin Uma University. Bilal Muhammad, who is an activist, is a social justice activist and a humanitarian worker, and Aisha Hussein Roba, who is the director Every Girl's Dream. Thank you very much for joining us. We're still going to go forward in this conversation. And we'll just go straight to the support that you have. Working with the government, there are laws already put in place. The government has made a commitment in regards to passing a law to ban or bar FGM in Kenya. But now on the grassroots, how is the situation like? And we'll start off with Daktari. What is it like right now working with the government on the ground?
Well, thank you, Kipainoi. I think I have attended several forums that the civil society and the local government has organized, and I became committed to having these FGM handled, and they are giving the necessary support to the civil society around in terms of facilitating them with laws, but we need to get it clearly that we are fighting a cultural war, and we are not doing. But the support and the need by the government, the local government is there, and the civil society is teaming up with the who have been some point and trying to detect whatever is reasonable to be able to have this particular problem. And in our small ways, we are also trying to reach out to this community, bring to them.
Sorry, we are losing you, Daktari, the audio. Please just say that again.
Okay, so
yeah, we cannot hear you clearly. Yes, you're now clear.
I'm saying apart from the help by the government, we are also doing in our small ways with Every Girl, other like-minded organizations to implement the programs, because we believe that education to the right person also can have influence, because we are not only doing FGM but on early marriages. So we are taking the opportunity and trying to do the program for them so that they are able to understand that it is not right to get married early. It is not also right to undergo the FGM. I think by targeting the girls themselves, we are going to have significant influence, because they are going to be mothers tomorrow and they will carry the message forward.
The girls will be mothers tomorrow, and they have to go through and they do not have to go through child marriage and FGM, is what you said, because you're losing you in terms of audio.
Yes. And then I also want to pick that during this time, as Aisha had said, we are having various serious challenges in terms of this early child marriage. We have FGM. We are also going to have unintended pregnancies, a lot of them, by the way. So I think a lot of people need to be put, because the focus, when you look at this county, the focus is more on controlling the COVID-19 outbreak. And less on the human element of what is the impact of this COVID when it comes to the dancers. So I'm thinking they need to pick up and try to, during their follow-ups, maybe they can use the community health workers, so that then people can be sensitized about these emergencies, like early pregnancies, issues of girls being circumcised, and also these early marriages, because if something is not going to be done during this period, the chances are that we have serious issues at the end of it.
Thank you very much, Dr. for that insight. Straight to you, Bilal. We have the county. We've had different people saying that their counties are not as supportive as they feel that should be the case. Where are you in regards to? I know you might be from a different angle as an activist. How do you see it? Is the county government supporting the End FGM campaign in Isiolo effectively or the way it should be?
In terms of support from the county government, I started by saying that the bid to eradicate FGM is should, as it is now, taking a holistic approach in terms of collaborating with partners, collaborating with the community members, and especially the community members. So I think the county government is doing fairly well, although there's still room for improvement. And normally what happens in our county, Aisha will tell you that we have, even from the national level, the Anti-FGM Youth Network, the Anti-FGM Board, and in partnership with local CBOs and local organizations, come together to sensitize the members of the community on the negative effects of this particular practice. So I think the county government is doing well, but it can improve, especially through the Ministry of maybe special programs or Ministry of Culture and Gender. And even at the national level, the Anti-FGM Board should be able to come in and continue supporting the community-based organizations so that we can use the holistic approach of really sensitizing the community on the negative effects. Because the more sensitization, the more people realize the negative effects of this practice, and the more they adopt the anti-FGM campaign, holistically speaking.
Thank you very much for that. We just go straight to Facebook. I see a question from Asana that Mwebia says, and she says, what are some of the emerging issues as a result of the pandemic? Has the age of practice changed? I know Aisha, you talked about this a little bit, but among the emerging trends, do you think that the fact that people are now enclosed in their homes and maybe surveillance is not there, then there are things that are going to change or have changed in regards to the cutting of the girls?
Okay, Kipainoi, if I can expound on that, let's get this clear, okay? People have not even accepted the fact that there is corona, to be honest. Let's just be honest. They have not accepted the fact that corona is there. People don't even practice social distancing. I'm not talking about the urban setups, but especially in the rural areas, a town like Garbatula, people have not accepted that there is corona or that corona can be transmitted so easily. So even when maybe practicing FGM, where there should be social distancing, there's nothing like that. Because now when the cut is being done, it means the cutter and the kid who is being circumcised, they must come into contact with each other, right? So they have not accepted the fact that there is corona. It's the high time people should accept there is corona. And the emerging trends that are there is now that the kids are at home and they're full-time home, so the parents are the ones who are insisting now on these kids to be cut, and I think it's the high time people should accept that there is corona. Amazing. More questions coming in,
Aisha, from social media, and I still keep on encouraging people to leave their comments. We are just going to go for a short break, and when you come back again, we're going to do one more question, and then we bring this to a close because we know that we are out of time, and we have also some things we need to do from the other side. So thank you very much for joining us again. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and together with Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, we bring you the End FGM Live Show.
Tune in to the End FGM Live Show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, thank you and welcome back again. This is the End FGM Live Show. Together with me is Bilal, our gentleman here. He's an activist, and also we have Aisha, Roba, who runs an organization in Isiolo County. Thank you very much for joining us, as well as Dr. Rukia Atikia, who is a registrar admin, UMA University. So thank you very much again for joining us today. We really do appreciate you sparing this time. Straight to the next question. We were talking about how do we know that this is actually happening? You had said 65%. KDHS 2014 didn't specifically have data revolving around that area. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult for you to know where exactly to focus on if you do not have enough data. Have you felt that as a gap, or everything's still okay? Starting off with Dr.
Yes, Kipainoi, I think that is a serious challenge that we are experiencing, because even the reports could have just picked the positional data. So there is actually need to get correct data, and getting this correct data sometimes is difficult. What we are working with is kind of maybe the ones that you know probably has done that, or neighbors talking about so and so has been maybe gone undergone this particular cut. And I think there is a need to have a system in place so that then we are able to get each and the exact factual data from each of the localities within this county. And I think that is the shortfall in terms of statistics currently. Maybe an area of improvement.
Data informs even funding in regards to activities on the ground, and that sometimes poses a challenge in that regard. I'll just go straight to Aisha, because I know you are running an organization. How has that affected you? The fact that there is sometimes no data to justify some of the things that are happening around.
Okay, Kipainoi, it's a really big challenge. There's a time we had a discussion on having the current data on FGM, because I believe it is more than 65%. I do believe it is more than 65%. So the issue of like having the data that has been there since, I think, for the past years, we have been at 65%, and I believe it is more than 65%. So having that data in place gives you the maybe you feel relaxed, because in real sense the data is higher than that. And now you feel like it is low. So it is a really big challenge, Kipainoi.
K-Beth on Twitter says, very dynamic guest. So take that as a compliment. Thank you very much, Kay, for that comment. Asante sana. We're just going to go to the next as we bring this to a close. I know we've talked about religion, we've talked about county support, and county-specific data, and also the fact that it's a cosmopolitan county. And I just want us to talk about this for a little while, because we only have less than 5 minutes to bring this to a close. We have a challenge where sometimes cultures are not the same. Isiolo County has Samburu people, has Somali, Borana. The Meru people still are found in Isiolo. You said the Gabra as well?
Yes.
And the Rindile. So what challenges does this pose in regards to strategies the county uses as activists, as the county government itself? How does this pose as a challenge in regards to implementation of campaigns to end FGM? Starting off from Dr. Sorry, I skipped off Bilal, so I think we should start off with Bilal.
Okay, thank you. Kipainoi, like you've said, we have a lot of communities living together in Isiolo. And the challenge comes in when a lot of these members of these communities practice this act. So the numbers, in as much as they could be going down, the rate at which they are going down is still not as high as we would like it to be. So it poses a challenge in that when Isiolo County, the statistics for Isiolo County, when you try as much as possible to get it, you find that maybe in Samburu it's going lower because of concerted efforts in that side of the community in terms of the local leadership, the religious leadership. And then in Somali, it could not be lowering. And then you find that maybe Gabra's at their own particular level in terms of religion, in terms of the social setup, the numbers could be going. But then overall, you look at figures coming from Isiolo, then you find that numbers are pretty high. So the dynamics in terms of the community practicing this act is still poses a big challenge. And even at the religious level, you find that some communities, like for example the Borana, who profess the Islamic faith, are slowly, and Somalis are slowly embracing the change that even religious leaders are calling for, and organizations are calling for. So it becomes a bit easier when we pull resources together and pull our heads together to be able to fight this battle.
And that's a good conclusion, I think, to bring us to a close to this. You only have 2 minutes. Daktari, one thing that you would change in Isiolo County if you are asked to change one thing, having all resources, for example, what would that one thing be? And that's your last statement, and also probably finish off with how people will be able to reach out to you.
I think the one thing I would change overnight is to stop 100% cut of the girls if I had powers. But I would still continue to advocate in the much I can through mentorship program, because I think I mentored Aisha, and she's a true advocate of my work. So I believe through 1, 2, 3 talks, I can be able to influence and bring the change that is desired.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And how would someone be able to reach out to you if they wanted to?
Well, my email address, Atikia R, the second name plus r@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. To Aisha, your mentor has just spoken, so I think you'll have fewer words in that regard. One thing that you would change in Isiolo County, were you given all the resources available and everything basically for you to end FGM?
I will empower each and every local community-based organization, because I believe we are the ones on the ground. We are the ones who know what really is happening in terms of maybe gender-based violence and other violence against women. She's my mentor. It's true, and I'm really proud of her, and I'm where I am because of her, and I look up to her every single day.
Amazing.
Thank you, Kipainoi.
Thank you very much. How do people reach out to you or your organization if they would like to learn much more about your work?
My email is Aisha Hussein 203@gmail.com, and you can find me on Twitter at Aisha Roba, and our organization's Twitter handle is at EGD.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate you being here today. To Bilal, same question. If you were given everything, what would you change?
I will focus more on the community. I will focus more on households. I will take the campaign to households if I had all the funds. I will be able to have a lot of monitors going around communities and administrative levels. And I will also encourage people to be able to come out, especially the girls, to come out and speak about this rise and join the campaign against FGM.
Thank you very much. How do people reach out to you?
I'm on Facebook, Bilal Mohamud. I'm also on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @NuraBilal. I'm also on Instagram, Bilal Mohamud. So you can reach me out on both handles.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate you being here today. Asante sana is all I can say. Let's keep on working and end this vice. On social media, thank you very much for joining us today. Asante sana for the comments. Keep them coming. Keep on having that conversation, and we will be able to make a difference by simply having a conversation that reaches people who are on the ground or people who can actually influence that change. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and I want to say goodbye. But before I do so, special thanks to Antonia Sophia and Tony Mwebia for their work they're doing. They are our co-producers in this program. Until tomorrow, same time, 5:30 p.m. Stay safe and see you then.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.